Welcome, everyone. We are about to listen to Igor Garcia, who will share with us the best approaches to attract new users. Igor is an experienced software engineer and also has a passion for helping people know more about Debian. Thank you, Igor.
Hello, I'm going to talk about the best approaches to attract new users and how to engage people around using Debian and Free Software. A bit about myself. My name is Igor. I'm a contract software engineer, been doing that for a while. I'm a GNU user since 2006, so it's been a while now. More recently, getting more involved with the Debian project specifically. I'm an aspiring Debian maintainer and maybe a Debian developer one day. I'm also a musician. I play the drums and a bit of other instruments. And I'm an urban cyclist. I'm originally from Brazil, from a Spanish background, and I currently live in the UK, specifically in Scotland. So why do I want to bring more people around Debian? There are several reasons, and I just listed some of them. One is like recycling old machines. Sometimes some people may think the machine doesn't work anymore, they want to throw it away, but with Debian it is possible to extend the life of that machine, that hardware. And also to help friends and family solve their problems. I'm going to illustrate some examples from my personal experience. It just feels good. You can see there I copied a card I received from my man because I donated a machine that I prepared with Debian. I donated to him for his kid to watch classes during the pandemic. They didn't have enough machines for all the kids at home to watch their classes and catch up with their colleagues. And I managed to give them this machine, and he was really thankful. So it just felt good. And as a job as well, you can make money with free software and with Debian. You just like helping people, like installing and configuring the machines. When is the moment you can do that? You can bring people around it. Again, I listed several chances, and it could be over a chat, on a flight, on a train, someone you are using your computer, someone gets curious about that and asks while you're using that. It's different from the operating system they are used to, so you can bring a conversation into that. Some people will complain that the machine is too slow, or it doesn't work anymore, or they have to pay extra money to upgrade it or to buy a new license. Sometimes they are curious about alternatives. I had a personal experience. Someone came to me and asked about, they heard about this GNU Linux alternative, and I ended up helping them installing Debian on their machines. They're pretty happy with that. We have a growing concern in the world now around security and privacy. So that's another chance for us to bring people into this free software and Debian world, because we know people are just tired of getting tracked and getting their data collected. Also, another chance is someone just had a big problem and a disaster, for example, and you can use free software to help people recover from problems on their machines. Of course, nothing is for free. There are some common barriers I've personally found over my journey. Some people just simply don't know it exists. They don't know there is an operating system they can install on their hardware, and they don't need to pay, and they have more freedom. They have more privacy, and so we have to try and make this information reach them. Some people have the proprietary mindset, which is every time you have a problem, the machine is too slow, and they're normally like, okay, just restart the machine, or formatting it and reinstalling the same operating system. Somehow they made these people believe that it will solve the problems, which in truth it's only gonna sort it for another year, and they're gonna find the same problems again. Some people have the fear of the shell, which is just like a screen with some words written on it. And Paulo Creteu is a Debian collaborator from Brazil. He says it's just reading and writing. So if you can read and write, you can read words on a screen. And many times when there's a problem, there's words on the screen, those words, especially on Debian, and normally they tell you what the problem is. And they even, sometimes, most of the times, they tell you how to fix that. People from the proprietary world, they are kind of trained to fear something written on the screen is a big problem. They can't recover from that. Language and culture is another common barrier. For example, how many people here doesn't have English as their native language? You can see we are privileged to be here watching a conference that's run in English, and to get content over the internet, watch videos, read books, blogs in English. But not everyone has this privilege. And this is something that blocks many people from reaching information. And culture as well, because sometimes they don't connect to that thing that's being said because they come from a different background. There are some criticism as well, as usual, like there are people complaining about something is not straightforward, like, oh, I installed it, and the first time my Wi-Fi was not working. So it's just, they just don't understand that it is possible to fix that. It's just like some people just like to criticize. So how to encourage them? It's not only installing the Debian operating system in their machines. It's explaining the whole process towards freedom, towards more security. What the ideas behind the project of the free software. And focusing on a solution. Sometimes people think the solution for something, they need to retouch a photo, for example, and they remember the name of a product, when in fact what they want is not that product. What they want is to solve the problems. They want to retouch a photo, they want to crop a photo, they want to edit a video, they want to write a document, they want a spreadsheet, not necessarily one specific product. On local and hyperlocal groups, hyperlocal, I mean very small communities. Us here, we can speak multiple languages. We can bring it back to our local communities. Things that we absorb out there from blogs and videos and everything. And it will reach them better because you know how to reach them. You know how to use examples from your culture, from their culture. They will connect with you better. And also, it's important to hold their hands across the journey, because moving from proprietary software towards free software completely, it's a journey, right? So you have to do that, because otherwise, if you just install the operating system, leave them there, they're going to be in the dark. So what we need is some patience, forgiveness, because sometimes they will read stuff out there in certain tech blogs that not necessarily are good things, are completely different from the reality. So you have to forgive them for just repeating the stuff and try to educate them. And also respect that people sometimes they can they want to be as free as they can or they want. You have to help them. Sometimes they cannot be, for some reasons, or work or some personal reasons, they cannot be completely using free software. But even if you install one suite of free software, LibreOffice, for example, even on their proprietary operating system, is already a step ahead. Give them some space, give them time to learn towards this and help them around it. Give them choices. We have, especially on Debian, loads of different choices for desktop environments, for example, themes, styles, colors. Give them a tour. Show them the different ways you can use your machine, and it will fit them according to their personal, not your choices, but their choices. So if you show them that, you help them. If they find something that is more connected to themselves, it will be easier. I want to bring an example of someone who has been dedicating a lot of time, of his personal time, towards reaching people. It's Paulo Creceu, and he's a Brazilian guy. He's been involved with the Debian project for many years now, and he released video classes on GNU with Debian from the beginning, from installing the operating system through configuring everything. And he also has tutorials and live labs to help people when some problems, transferring the installation to another machine, and so forth. He has a chat group, an online chat group, that started off as a chat group just for support, whether for the classes, and it's now more than 1,000 people. And some of those people that started off as a beginner a couple months ago are now helping out other people because they learn. And some of them even started learning more about packaging for Debian, and now they became maintainers. So it's this multiplier effect that you teach someone, you show someone that, and that person is going to show other people more stuff. I have 3 successful cases here hitting specific areas of lives of people. One is financial. The Tony Garcia, that's a screenshot of a refund he got from an antivirus company because they charged his credit card. And he was not using that thing anymore because he migrated to Debian. And he got it was in Brazil, 190 reais. The second one is the sentimental value. Trisha Riley, I helped her recover thousands of family photos that she accidentally reset the operating system, led her to delete that because she forgot the password. And Discover and Joy, Uncle John came to me, is one of that examples. Someone came to me asking about it, and I helped him through, and he was asking me about the facilities he had on the proprietary operating system, and he wanted to have the same on Debian, and I helped him through that. So these people, Tony Garcia is my dad, he's 74. Trisha Riley is my mother-in-law, she's 65. And Uncle John is 76, is Trisha's brother. So these people, they inspired me to be here today talking to you about it. So they can do it. There's no excuse, not wage or anything. They could do that. You could do that as well. Anyone can do it. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed my talk. Thanks very much. And please feel free to pull me to chat or ask any questions. And yeah.
It's not related to what you presented, but out of my curiosity, why do you write the symbols as letters? I've seen it in some other websites.
Yeah, well, that's a trick because some robots read off documents and try to automatically incorporate that email to spam machines. So if you read like that, they can't send an email to that address, but you as a human can interpret that as an email address. So that's how you can.
I have a question related to your presentation.
Yeah.
So based on your experience and your perception, how do you see? Okay. So based on your experience and your perception, how do you see the future of Debian and free software in terms of market share? Thank you.
It's not a matter of market share. The main thing I think we are trying to achieve is giving people freedom. So you're free even not to use free software. That's I think that's the main goal. And give people choices. Sometimes they want to go, like I said, but they cannot for some reasons. So I think the objective is to give people the choice, actually reach everyone using free software. It would be a great thing, but we have to be realistic. And if people at least have choices, sometimes they don't even know they have the choice. So if you reach them and tell them you can use that and solve your daily problems with free software, that's enough, yeah.
More questions? There's one from IRC related to the DPL's talk earlier today. This is Cowboy Penguin. He says, I think the firmware problem poses a huge barrier to newcomers and pushes them to other distros. Would you agree with that? Could you comment?
No, I would prefer not to comment with that because I've been involved with the Debian project specifically very recently, and I think the teams are doing a great job, and I would just go with them around that.
More questions? I'd like to comment on that as well. I'm a reasonable beginner. I've been involved in Debian from a social point of view, and it took me a really long time to understand that asking about market share and things like that is sort of like asking the wrong question. And it's about this little community that does things that whatever you want to do, you could do. You don't even think about the market. And it's so good that you get big players like Google and Microsoft. And Facebook, I think, is also very involved. If not in Debian, then in Ubuntu at least. I'm not, So it's a whole different game than fighting for market share, which is really interesting, and it takes a long time to understand. But it's a really cool community. More questions, comments, stories? What flavors of Debian did you install in the people that you've helped? Because you said there was quite a selection.
Yeah, all of them. The Debian stable, because for their end users, the Debian stable would be, to me, the most recommended one. And the desktop environment, different ones, LXDE and XFCE. Yeah, basically. I was expecting more people to go towards GNOME, but none of them picked them. I showed them the tour, let them pick.
Okay, question.
Okay, so thank you for your talk. I would like to ask you about, you talk about the language barrier. So I think that's translating everything that we do to the local languages is a very important thing. I'd like you to talk, or if you have experience in that. So it's a bit of a merchandising of language teams like here. So.
Yeah, I've been involved. I've used GNU for many years, but more getting involved in Debian specifically over the past 2 years. And I'm originally from Brazil, so I participate on the groups from Brazil, and I try to bring my knowledge there. I learned, So basically, yeah, I think it's important.
And I think languages is a very easy way for anyone who wants to be involved to help, because you don't even need to know how to code. Like whatever it is that made you excited while you're here today, you can translate that into some other language and get someone involved.
Yeah, the Brazilians specifically are really active in the Debian community, as you all know. Sometimes I try to translate something and I go there, it's already translated 100% Brazilian Portuguese. So yeah, they're really good, fast.
Okay, anyone else?
Maybe more a comment than anything else. Trying Debian on a new hardware is not something I would recommend. Because in my experience, you need at least wait half a year to get a reliable a kernel that can run the machine. So if you try introduce anyone to Debian, use something not latest. Let's say that way. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Igor. Let's give him a round of
Thank you.
applause.